Thank you very much. How about yourself?
I'm great. Yesterday I couldn't sleep very well, but all good, teacher. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Very nice. Maybe sometimes something you eat or you watch a movie late, or it can be many things, right?
Yeah, probably I ate a lot. Probably that's the reason.
Okay, well, that happens.
And
Don't
you, teacher,
worry.
how are you?
Uh, yeah, I was okay. It was okay. Thank you. What did I do on Saturday? It was a relaxed day. Then yesterday I went to see an old-time friend, Jesse Padilla. He's been my friend for 37 years.
Oh,
So we've been friends for a long time, and he he became he became well. He was living with his cousin, but his cousin passed away like 5 or 6 months ago. Now he's by himself, so he's like struggling a little bit, but not
yeah,
not
of course.
struggling in the sense of economic way, but he's by himself now. So loneliness, believe it or not, but it's a burden.
Yeah, I imagine. Jeez.
Yeah. So I went to see him yesterday. We chatted for 4 hours straight. He was my English teacher. He's the one who taught me English 30 some years ago, 37, almost 40 years ago.
Oh, really?
So
Wow,
yeah, he's a great guy. He was telling me lots of stories, recent and old stories, all kinds of stories.
I imagine. That's great, teacher.
Yeah. I was glancing through the book of Pierre Bourdieu about the taste. What do you think about taste, Mickey? Do you think it is universal or is independent? How is taste shaped? Taste. How is it
Taste?
shaped? Yes, taste. You like certain type of food. You like certain type of clothing. You like certain type of music. Why do you like that and not something different or the opposite? For God's sake, why do you like exactly what you like? Why do you like certain type of
Mm,
cars? How is it shaped? Your taste, the taste of people. How is taste shaped?
yeah, I think that it's shaped by the society. For example, here in Mexico, normally we like the spicy food, or we like um, food that is in occasions fried. Like the Mexican food, we know that um, some some dishes are fried, and so I think that it's shaped by society.
Okay, so there are many shapes as different societies or fragments in society, right?
Yeah.
Or do you think it has something to do with the societal level that people, in other words, according to this book from
Hmm.
Bourdieu, the judgment, I mean, the taste is shaped by society, exactly as you say, right? And it is a mirror of the social class. That's a difficult concept for me to agree with totally. In other words, why cannot a humble people like certain type of music that also people from top society or high class like, or food or clothing, but they seem to be different? What do you think about that, Mickey? Is there like a different social classes accumulate different forms of cultural capital and tastes, preferences?
Mm,
What do you think?
yeah, I think that probably depending of your mm, how can I say, your level class, or uh, your income level could be too. I think that depending, because um, I saw it in people. I've been in different contests, and sometimes those contests are so there's a big contrast one with the other, and sometimes it is different the things that they speak and the things that they normally um, are talking. So I think that in a way it could be influence. Probably it's not a a 100% that the taste is depending of the income level, but some things I agree. I think so.
Okay, very interesting. You just mentioned that there are contrasts in the way of speaking. How is that? Can you elaborate, please?
Yeah, I remember when I went to the high school where my dad was working, and I listened to the talks that the students had in that time, and I remember one time that one of them mentioned that he was working, and I'm talking that probably he had 14 or maximum 15 years old, and then I went to I remember that because it was like, oh my god, the contrast that exists in the same city. I went to I don't know how to say kermes.
Kermes, Kermes, actually.
Kermes, yeah.
Yeah.
At Kipling, the school that is in Villas,
Yeah, I know it.
and
Yeah.
because one friend of my mom, her son is studying there, and I remember that they were talking about that. What is school uh, wanna go after the high school, after the secondary, sorry, and and they were mentioned that, yeah, I'm gonna continue here at Kipling, or probably I'll go to Tec de Monterrey. It was like, oh my god, how big is the contrast with one person and with the other, and obviously the way of thinking. The other kid is probably thinking that after school I need to go to work, and this kid is probably thinking that after school I go to Cancun or something like that, or Disneyland. So yeah, probably uh, the taste is shaped by the society, obviously, but the income level I think that affects too.
I think you mentioned something extremely important because the living conditions obviously influence or shape the. I'm going to write that down. The living conditions of people, which is more or less what you just said,
Hmm.
uh, influence their conversations. And that is only natural, don't you think, Mickey?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah.
The living conditions. All right, but why? Of course, well, the price has an influence, right? Some people is gonna like some type of food because that's what their income level allows for, and some other people will like something different. What do you think about that? Taste on food, taste on food. Why should it be so different if that is the case? Why should it be different for certain level of the certain people of the society and totally different, if not opposite, for the other strata of the society? What do you think about that, Mickey?
Hmm. I think that is because people at the end get used to the food that they normally eat, or the places that they visited. Um, I think that it's influenced by that. Probably, if a person that always goes to Mochomos, or that kind of restaurants, uh, Sonora Grill, and you tell to him or to her, well, why we don't go to the tacos in the I don't know, uh, in this corner or
I
something like
think
that.
I lost the last part of what you said.
You
Okay,
couldn't hear me?
the last part only, please. I
Okay.
lost that. I'm sorry.
Hmm. Yeah, that probably if you say to a person that is get used to go to places that are expensive, you say, why we don't go to the tacos that isn't here in the corner? Probably he's gonna be like, why, But in case if you say to the person that always goes to those tacos, why we don't go to other place that is expensive that probably he have never visited? Um, Obviously, I think that probably yes, probably not. I don't know. That he's gonna say, yeah, why not? Because it's something that they don't know. So how is possible that they like something that they don't know in
Yeah,
taste of food, you know?
yeah, it totally makes sense. Yeah, so they, and unfortunately for many people, the only way to the only way to get to know it's the, let's say, the flavor, right? The flavor or taste of expensive food is to, well, for them and for many other people, right? The only way to get to know the flavor of or taste of expensive food is to go to an expensive restaurant, right?
Yeah.
And what about music, Mickey? Do you see something different or similar to the case of music? What about the like for for music?
Um, there was something that I was talking a few days ago with some friends because uh, the last week I listened to a song that was so, how can I say it? So explicit, you know,
Oh, okay.
and actually the artist is an artist that is here from Irapuato, so
Uh,
he he got famous in a way that probably mm, I would like to be famous in that way, but he shared some stories in in his Instagram, and there were like kids probably around 11, 12 years old singing that song, and it looks that they have their uniform, you know, they're like probably they go out of the school and they were recording that video and singing that song, and it's like I don't want to generalize, but they were from public schools, probably in a rural space, you know, and probably the music that they listened is not always, but it's music of that type of music, probably because they feel like in occasions mm, part of that music or part of the society. For example, you know that if you go to the rural areas, probably they're gonna listen to I don't know how to say it, regional music, Mexican regional music, or band
yeah,
music.
band music,
So,
yes.
I think that sometimes it's because they feel part of um, their society is according to the things that that they are singing, or I don't know. Yeah, music is something that normally makes me think a lot about the impact in society.
Absolutely, absolutely, because they identify themselves with the characters that are part of the story.
Identify, yeah, that's the word. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it makes total sense. Total sense. So we can say that the way you talk, the taste on food, the taste about music, they are all really shaped by society, right?
Yeah, of course.
And now the ethical or the critical thought or comment here, is that good? Is that bad? Is that normal? Just trivial? It makes no difference. Uh, can people choose? So, in other words, I know that we can choose where we go to eat or where we
Mhm.
go out, right? Or which clothing we choose. Clothing is the same. What do you think about the choice of clothing, Mickey?
Um, well, yeah, it is. It is interesting too. I think that, for example, uh, some societies try to follow or imitate some uh, music artists that probably they like or that society admires. For example, uh, I saw people that wear uh, t-shirts like Gucci or that kind of brands. Probably they are not original, but they try to pretend or to act like mm, being part of something. I don't know, but yeah, I think that it's obviously influenced by by society, 100%.
Okay, now you just said a word that that strikes me because it's so true, and I see it so often in different people. Sometimes even close people. Sometimes
Yeah,
people
yeah,
who is close to us occasionally
mhm,
can be a
yeah, yeah,
friend, can be a relative, can be a partner, can be a neighbor. And you
hmm,
say pretend, pretend to be or pretend to have with the normally with the aim, with the ambition of being accepted by certain group or being noted or known as, oh, it's because this woman or this man is
hmm,
knowledgeable, he knows about this or that, or she wears these brands because she goes here or here, or he
yeah.
goes here or here. What do you think about that? Why do we have to dress certain way or talk certain way to be accepted? Is that really that, is it really that necessary, or is just an illusion? What do you think?
Uh, that's a good question. I think that probably it is not necessary, but at the end we are social beings, and in a way, always we want to be accepted in a group because I think that we have, including me, in occasions. I'm not gonna say that is that I'm perfect, but in occasions we have like fear to loneliness. I think so. So
Okay.
probably we sometimes change the way how we talk, the way how we think, just to be part or of a group or part of something.
Well, that is normal. That is a social necessity. Social needs actually is defined in one of the levels, one of the floors of Maslow's pyramid, right? The
Yeah,
social need of
the
belonging.
social.
You belong to
Hmm.
this group, to the group of the ex graduates of Instituto, or you belong to the group of people who. I mean, there are some people who speak English. You belong to the group. You belong to the group of people who are in a master's degree. You belong to the group of the people who live in Los Arcos. You belong to various groups, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes they overlap, and that is normal. That's actually necessary.
Hmm.
But here the question is it necessary that that you speak English or that you learn German or that you something to be in Instituto, for example? Or is it necessary that you are strong and dress nice to live in Los Arcos? Or I mean, this is good for your health, right? But
Yeah.
is it a condition? Is the question, right? So here the question: is it necessary to wear something or have something to be in a group?
No, it is not necessary.
But
But
then
I
why?
think that
Yes.
sometimes people think that they need to act or to pretend probably be someone that they are not, probably just to be accepted in a group.
Yeah. Yeah. And it is, I think it is dramatic in one way for some reason. Sometimes some people who don't have the means, or they have the means but they are just fair enough, right? Or they have fair enough, or they only the fair means, and because they need to impress somebody, they go beyond
Yeah.
their budget. They, I mean, if you have extra money, if you are a millionaire, if you have, I mean, all your problems solved, well, who cares, right? If you have everything, you can do whatever you want. But some people don't have the resources, and yet go beyond their means to try to impress people. So let's
Hmm.
say, for example, and I made that mistake myself, right? When I was living in Lomas, uh, I didn't have to build a huge house, but I wanted to impress. First of all, I want to impress myself, maybe. So it
Hmm.
took me 15 years to build a house that I didn't need. I had to build a normal, regular house, right? But why did I
Hmm.
build such a huge house that cost me 15 years of hard work, right? So
Yeah.
sometimes we have this pretense.
Hmm.
So the question is, Why does that happen? I'm sure you have seen that in people.
Yeah, I think that it's for the same because at the end, society shows you probably what is good for you or what they think that is good for you. That is probably have a good big house, have a good car, have uh, the best clothing, the best cell phone, have and I think that sometimes uh, we want or we try to achieve that, and probably it's not to impress others, but first I'll impress you, and then I think that is that you try to impress other people at the end, but at the end, but first probably you try to impress yourself that you can do those things, and yeah, I think that is that's the reason. For example, I made the mistake when I was selling when I started selling my sneakers. Um, I remember one time that I saw a profile, and this person shows in their stories like he was driving good cars, that he was in restaurants, and he asked me for a pair of sneakers, and I told the price, and I remember that when I began, the price was more reasonable because apart of that, the retail of the sneakers were low than now, and he told me it is so expensive, and probably that in another occasion he gonna send me another message, and then probably 3 or 4 days ago, after sorry, I received another message, and this person didn't have a big profile. I think that he in their Instagram profile just had one picture, and it was from um, a truck. It was like a kind of truck, but and he asked me for a pair of sneakers, and he just told me how much for this, and I told the price, and he told me, "Oh, it's great. Can you deliver it now?" And it was like, "Oh my god!" I had like this way of thinking that the other person's gonna buy me, and the other person at the end purchase that pair, you know.
Yeah,
So, and I think that is the reason because probably the other person tried to impress that has more money, that has luxury in their lives, and the other person was so mm, how can I say so
low profile.
low profile. Yeah, that's the word. And I made that mistake because I had the idea the other person's gonna buy the pair, and the end was the person that I never thought.
Yeah, that happens. Yeah, that happens. But that has happened to all of us, not only you. That has happened to me. We misjudge sometimes, and it's
Yeah.
not easy. It's not easy to judge because at first sight, how can you judge if it is not from what you see, right? If you see a
Hmm.
person with good, a nice, fluent, um, how do you say this, eloquent conversation
Yeah.
and dressing nice, you think, and we normally think that they are normally in wealthy or in good shape. Whereas if you see another person who is not wearing very nice outfit or is not speaking very high profile or very eloquently, we tend to misjudge them and think, well, this person maybe is not very wealthy or is not very economically capable. But sometimes that is deceptive. There are some deceptions that can be deceptive. So it only teaches us a lesson to everyone, not only not only you and me, but to everyone, because all of us have made mistakes of judging people or
Yeah.
judging situations. But well, that's part of learning. Now let me let's talk about this book, The Taste and the Social Critique of Judgment. The first part is The Aristocracy of Culture. Let me share the book with you, Mickey, really quick,
Thank you.
and go over this section, which is truly interesting. Let me see. The Critique of Judgment. I'm sorry, the critique of the judgment of taste. Yeah, that is page number 9. Let me go to page number 9, and that'll be here. Let me get there. You can see the screen, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Pierre Bourdieu is a very famous and well-respected sociologist, and this book is one of his classic works. And let's see, introduction. Let's go straight to the first chapter. Okay, here, the aristocracy. All right, let's read the first part. How the first part is approached by this gentleman, and let's see what you think of it. So let's read the first paragraph, Mickey, please. Can we?
Hmm. So, sociology is really more akin to social psychoanalysis than when it confronts an object like taste. One of the most vital stakes in the struggles fought in the field of the dominant class and the field of cultural production. This is not only because the judgment of taste is the supreme manifestation of discernment, which, by reconciling reason and sensibility, the pedant who understands without feeling and the mundane who enjoys without understanding, defines the accomplished individual, not solely because every rule of property designates in advance the project of defining the indefinite, of defining this indefinable sense as a clear manifestation of Philistinism, whether it be the academic property, which from Alois Riel and Heinrich
Wolfling? Yeah.
Wolflin to Elie Faure and Henry Fonseca, and from the most scholastic commentators of the classics to the avant-garde semiologist, insist on a formalist reading of the work of art, or the upper-class property which treats taste as one of the serious signs of true nobility and cannot convince of referring taste to anything other than itself.
Yeah, basically, what he says is that many people talk or consider taste as the ultimate means of judging your social class. In other words, they say, what do you like? Tell me what you like, and I will tell you where you are in society. Well, that's pretty much a very intense comment, right? Tell
Yeah,
me what you like, and I will tell you where you are in society. Imagine, right? Because that will define not only what you do, but also what you buy, what you sell, what you build, and what you destroy. I mean, in other words, that will more or less define our lives. I think it's too daring. What do you think of this comment, Mickey?
yeah. I think that as we talked, your likes, your preferences uh, are involved in the way of how you see society or the way in how you are part of certain society. So yeah, I think that it's influenced by society influence everything.
Right. Well, tell me genres of music, for example. Genres.
Hmm.
This is only an experiment because I'm not so uh, well. I don't know much about the different genres of society
Hmm.
and uh, the social stairs. Let's put how many social stairs you want to have. One, two, three, four, five, or six. How many levels would you like to have?
Probably five.
Three, five. Okay, five. So
Five.
since the very, very top, right, the second, the third, the fourth, and the fifth. All right. The people at the bottom of society, what genres of music do they listen to?
At the top.
At the bottom,
Mm,
at the bottom.
at the bottom.
The
Um, Probably urban music,
urban, urban. Okay,
like reggaeton and that kind of genres.
okay, okay. Okay.
But
It's
well, probably that has changed lately because I've seen people who had probably a good level and they're listening to that music and singing that kind of music. Or, for example, now corridos, like the regional music, and that kind of music you will expect that I'll listen from the down part of society, but now music, I think that it's been more generalized.
Well, yeah, that's true. And is it not true, Mickey, that when you see somebody listening to that music and that looks bizarre for you, don't you pay them an open eye and you look at them like, you say, what? What are you listening at?
Yeah.
Because because that creates. I mean, why do you do that? I do it myself, not only you.
Mhm.
But why do we do it?
Um, I think that it's for the reason that I think that so many problems and so many issues are caused by the music that we listen, the things that we see, that the kind of content that we consume normally. Because, for example, uh, for me, so foolish that people are listening to music that, in a way, glorifies people that do bad things. For example, I don't know. Probably there's not like a translation in English, like the narco corridos, and that people are singing that like something normal. I think that it makes me feel like anger in a way, because it's like, oh my god, you're singing music glorifying people that affects your country, that affects all of us, and you're singing and glorifying like if they were, superheroes, or they were uh, doing something good. And it's the same for reggaeton, that their the music of the lyrics of reggaeton are so explicit and normally talks about drugs, sex, alcohol, parties, and people are singing like if there were, I don't know, it makes me sometimes I try to avoid places that put that kind of music, because I feel that I'm not part of it.
Exactly, exactly, and it's totally valid. I mean, you choose what you like. Yeah, if you
Exactly.
like green circles, why are you gonna be in a yellow or in a violet circle, right? I mean, if what you like is green, why should
Yeah,
you be in violet? Is-
exactly. Yeah.
we choose what we like, and that's perfectly legal. Um, okay, where would we have number four, Mickey? Or what would we have in number four? The penultimate step in society, almost the last one.
Probably band music,
Band
or
music, okay.
regional music. I don't know how to say it.
Band or regional music?
Regional music. Yeah.
Regional music. Okay.
Or well, probably I will change those genres in the third one, and in the fourth I probably put cumbia and that kind of music.
This one here. And number four, you would put cumbias.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I like this exercise. Cumbias. Very good. And then what about number two?
Probably. Oh my gosh, because there are a lot of genres.
Yeah,
Probably
you can mention three, four, or two, three, four, five, whatever.
pop music,
Pop music, pop music.
uh, rock music. I think that there are different kind of rock music. There are uh, rock more heavy and rock like more kind of pop rock, but probably yeah, rock music, but in like the light version.
Okay. Yeah. Where do you place heavy metal? I have a little conflict with that genre. Uh, because it's something that I noticed that many people like, but I don't like it. And I respect the people who like
No,
it.
me
Of course,
neither.
it's
Yeah.
totally legal that people like, but I don't like it.
Pro- Probably in the fourth one or in the third one.
Third or
Hip.
fourth level, right?
Yeah.
Okay, somewhere in between heavy rock, heavy metal, right? Heavy
Hmm.
metal. Okay, somewhere in between three and four.
Yeah.
Okay. How about ballades? Many people like ballades, like the ones that
Hmm.
Luis Miguel sing. Um, what
Probably in
about
the
that?
second one or in the first one.
The first or the second, right? Somewhere in between. Ballades. All right, somewhere in between one and two.
Yeah, I think so. Probably in two.
Probably two, right?
Hmm.
Yeah. Well, what do you put number one?
Mm, classic music could be.
You think classic music is in the first one? Classic music could be, right?
Yeah, yeah, because I think that people who listen to normally that kind of music are people that probably knows at at least a little bit of music in general. So probably they are more informed, and obviously, if they are informed about music, probably they had better. Um how can I say it? A better studies, or,
Okay.
I think so. Probably I'm
Could
wrong, but I think so.
could be. It also is. Sometimes we influence our own perception of the things from our own likes and perceptions, right? For
Yeah, of
example,
course. Yeah,
you like classical music, I like it, so we tend to think that that's the top, right? And it's probably right, but
opera
the
music could be too,
opera music. Well, yeah, opera music, opera
because,
music.
for example, I remember the prices of Andrea Bocelli when he came the last year to the Campo Marte, and the
Right.
cheapest one was around 2,000, and
Ah,
the most expensive was, I'm not gonna lie, probably between 12,000 to 13,000.
is that
So
true? Oh, that is expensive.
actually, the first line in the concert was for Carlos Slim and his family.
Wow.
He broke the first line. I think that he broke Andrea Bocelli to the concert, so probably that's why he had the first line in the concert.
All right. Where was that? Here in Guanajuato or in Mexico?
In Capo Martin, Mexico.
Mexico City. All right.
In Mexico City, yeah.
Okay. Well, this exercise that we're doing with music, obviously you can do it, you can translate it to any other item or element, clothing, food, uh, way of talking, etc. But then,
Everything.
yeah, everything. So there is this concept that Bourdieu has and develops, and I don't know exactly where that is, but it's cultural heritage. Let me see if it is here. Cultural heritage or cultural something like cultural background, cultural
Hmm.
many things. Let me
Hmm.
see one of them, and I look it up. Three, 400, 500 times he's got the word cultural. Must be cultural background, cultural something, cultural change, cultural nobility. All right, well, that's cultural pedigree, cultural goodwill, cultural practice, cultural nobility. He likes this word, cultural nobility. Uh, Parisian curiosities and trivial cultural products, and then cultural production. Let's see which elements related to culture or cultural, the adjective cultural, caught your
Hmm.
attention, Mickey. All right. So everything. Tell me one that looks interesting for you because now we have cultural production, cultural goods. So tell me to stop to comment about something that is calling your attention. Economy of cultural goods. For example, this one. There is an
Hmm.
economy of cultural goods. What do you think about this? You just mentioned something about Andrea Bocelli, right? Um, how would you then capitalize on this element? Let's say, how would you create, if you had to create a strategy to
Hmm.
profit on the likes of people? How would you do that? Let's say that you establish categories for
Hmm.
everything. Actually, that wouldn't be a bad exercise, right?
Yeah.
What do you think about that? You establish your categories, almost like a condition, condition to be in this group. You need to. And what would you do, Mickey? For example, clothing. What else? What other elements? Food.
Food, services,
What else, Mickey? Services. Okay, services. What else?
mm, leisure. I think that it's influence too.
Very good. Very important. Leisure. We talked about
Education.
music,
Well, music. Yeah. Education probably
education.
it's in services, right? Or
Yeah, then we need to break down services in
yeah.
many aspects. But let's say education as an individual, as an independent education. All right. And in clothing, obviously, we have different garments. We have
Hmm.
tennis shoes, which is a part of clothing,
Hmm.
shirts, pants, what else? Belts.
Yeah.
Um, and we stratify this one, two, three, four, five, six, or five levels of society. And the funny thing about this, what idea does this give you, Mickey? From
Mm,
the standpoint of business.
okay. Well, probably if you want to attract attention of the first level, you need to use things that the first level normally are looking for or are searching for. For example, I've seen brands normally are expensive, and those brands are promoted by artists, and those artists are famous actors or famous musicians that probably the people that is part of that group normally listens or normally sees those kind of artists probably.
Okay. So do you think that you could, or people, someone could give categories to the type of clothing, food, services, leisure, music, and education, and
Yeah,
based on that, develop a portfolio?
yeah, of course.
How would you do it?
mm, First of all, I think that we need to focus on the income. For example, we are not gonna sell something that is expensive to the fifth level, you know. For example, we know that there are brands that have different like levels too, in wines, in tequilas, in clothings too. That, for example, I remember the group of Sarah Clothing. You know that brand? It's a
Yeah.
Spanish brand.
Yes.
They
Yes.
have like four or five different brands of the same group, and it's the same owner. For example, there is Sara, there is Stradivarius, there is Massimo Dutti. There are different kind of brands and different, obviously, prices. So they try to, in a way, attack the different levels and attracts the attention of all of them.
Yeah. And most of them are looking for profit, right?
Of course,
That is the base of
that is the place.
yes. Then if you are basing yourself in, let's say, in clothing, and you divide up clothing in different garments, let's say, obviously tennis shoes, right?
Mm,
That's one of them. Tennis shoes. Um, how do you stratify this? How do you distinguish the, I don't know if it is the brands, how do you segment the market? I guess that's the word. How do you segment the market, your potential customers?
mm, well, first of all, depending of the prices that we have, we need to establish the different prices of the different products.
And how is that done? How do you do that?
Mm, well, normally they do like a segmentation market or market
Yeah,
segmentation where they, for example, in a city, they see the average income, they see the average uh, way of spending the money of people. Probably this, I don't know, in this society they spend normally 30% of their salary of the 40%, and depending that they, for example, I saw a video that to to create a mall in a city, they search a lot of things. They search the zone, they search the average income, they search the products that normally uh, are the best sellers, and depending of that, they decide if it's a good place to put a mall. And I think that it's for everything, to put a restaurant, to put whatever. So I think that there are different aspects in a segmentation market that we need to follow to decide what is good or not for a business in this case.
Yeah, that statistical analysis is incredibly important and useful also. And many companies devote their time to do that. Uh, how is the income in Irapuato? You know any statistics about Irapuato? The average income, average
I don't know. To be
in
honest, I don't know.
Irapuato,
Let
no?
me search here on the internet.
Average income in Irapuato. Let's see if
Mm,
there is some data there.
Probably not for Irapuato, but for the state. I don't know.
For the state, okay, average income in
Mm,
Guanajuato.
oh, I found here in
Yes.
the page of the economy that
Okay.
the average monthly salary in the second quarter of 2023, it was 4,700 Mexican pesos.
That is what per month per
It's supposed, yeah.
how often is that?
Well, I think that
Four
it's
thousand seven hundred.
yeah,
The average income for that is for Irapuato or
for Irapuato.
for Guanajuato.
No, for Irapuato.
Average income for Irapuato is 4,700 per
Yeah,
month. Wow,
and it
it's
says
not
that
extremely high, right?
uh, 239 Mexican pesos higher than the previous quarter, that was of 4,540. Wow, that
Higher
information
than
impacts me.
previous quarter. Yeah, yeah, because that tells
And
you
it's
that
a
they.
page of the government economy, economia.gov.mx.
Wow. Is there something similar like for Leon or
Let me
Salamanca? Because that also gives you an idea.
let me search it. Mm, mm, León, Guanajuato. Mhm. I don't know why I can't open the page, but here in the first word says that uh, in Guanajuato, 10% of the lowest income households have an average quarterly income of 11,200 Mexican pesos in 2020.
11,000, how much?
The 200 in
200
2020.
in 2020. In 2020. The lowest income, right?
Yeah.
The lowest, I mean, the lowest segment, the lowest 10%
Mm-hmm.
of Guanajuato or what place?
Probably it's in average of all the state.
Guanajuato,
Because here in Guanajuato, it appears that the average monthly salary in the second quarter of 2023 was of 4,770 Mexican pesos, being 239 Mexican pesos higher than the previous quarter.
that's per month. That's the average. But then the lowest make 11,000. But this must be per year, right? because if it's the lowest, it should be like 1,000 pesos, less than 1,000 pesos per month, which is really bad.
Yeah.
And I don't
Yeah.
think it is per month,
No.
per year, right?
Hmm.
Wow, that's incredibly low. Well, that is the segment of society which is basically forgotten. Uh, it's really bad. How can you make 250 pesos per week? Almost if you devoted your time to washing cars, you would be making 30, 40, 50 pesos per car. You would be, and well, there was a secretary a long time ago in one of the jobs that I had that complained about her income. And I said to her, well, look, Mari, there is this guy, Pepe or Pancho, I don't remember his name, that washed cars
Hmm.
at 50 pesos per car. And he washed 10 cars per day. So how much did he make a month, Mickey?
In a month,
In a month?
he
Let's say that
works
he worked only
10 days.
six days, 6 days a week.
500 per 6 will be 3,000 per 4. 12,000.
Times four, 12,000. What do you think about that? It's not a fortune, but he can make a living with that, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So, yeah,
Uh,
there is a limited number of cars, and then you need to know how to wash cars. Yes, Mickey.
I don't know if the statistics of shows here um, are for old people and probably the people that is not working too, and that's why the average monthly is so down. Or I don't know. To be honest, this information impacts me a little bit because I didn't think that that was the average monthly salary.
Well, there is national statistics of the basic basket. You can look that up, please, in I think in Spanish. La canasta básica,
Yeah.
something like qué porcentaje de la población de México in the country has enough for the basic basket. Let's see, and you'll be surprised. Let's see if you find that information, Mickey. You will be surprised.
Well, here says that uh, the I'm gonna try to translate to English. The laboral poverty in Mexico is stagnant to 49 million people that cannot purchase the uh, basic basket. That's the
Basket.
word. Yeah,
49 million people,
yeah, they cannot afford it.
they cannot afford it. So let's divide up. Let's get the percentage. We are 125 million, right? So 49, you said 49 million, Mickey?
Yeah,
49 into 125. Let's see, what do you get? Let's see, 49 divided into 125, it is 39%, almost
almost
40%,
the 40.
40%
Jeez,
of the population cannot afford the basic basket, not luxuries, nor this or that, luxuries,
the basic.
the basic basket. Yeah. So that means that 40%. Let's go dramatic a little bit. Let's go a little bit dramatic. Let's talk about my family or our families. Let's say that 40%, if we are five people, two people don't eat
Two
enough
people.
in
Yeah,
five. That's dramatic, right? It's like if I say I'm myself, my friend, my two daughters, or if I had three daughters or three kids, two of them don't have enough to eat. I say, well, that cannot be right. That's impossible. But well, no, that's the reality. That doesn't mean that they are starving. That only says that they have a deficiency of cereals or minerals or vitamins or carbohydrates
Yeah,
or
of
anything.
course. Yeah, and I think that that problem impacts all the problems because I read the other time an article that says that obviously probably there are two kids in the same classroom receiving the same classes, but um, one kid he ate the things that his body requires, and the other kid he just couldn't. He didn't have enough minerals, cereals, whatever. And obviously uh, how was this word, the learning or the how, I forgot it. How do you say approachment?
The lesson, the advantage, or the way you take advantage of
Yeah, the
something.
advantage. Yeah, the advantage of the knowledge that they are receiving. Obviously, it's completely different, and they are receiving the same class, the same things, but
Okay, no,
one
sorry,
kid
sorry.
was
That is the
starving. Yeah.
performance.
The
The
performance,
performance.
that was word. Yeah, the performance. Yeah, so that's that's horrible, and that's a big issue, and we need to focus on that because, well, that's a mess.
Yeah, exactly. There must be ways to alleviate that situation. In my personal opinion, one of the most important solutions, and it may look too simplistic, but also I don't see anyone defeating this idea, is enough production of food. If I mean, if I cannot buy it, I produce it, right? So if I cannot buy the food, I will produce it. That's simple. I need to, okay, let's say I cannot afford to buy a kilogram of lemons. Well, plant a lemon tree. Or if I cannot afford to buy squashes or zucchinis, well, I can have a pot with zucchinis.
Yeah.
Uh, in theory, that can be in addition to my work. Not that I'm going to be planting zucchinis all day long. No, that's not going to be my new job. It must be an addition to what I do. Instead of doing other things that have not much value or could have much less value than what I'm doing now, much more value, I can also do a side activity. And that side job or activity
Hmm.
is produce food. What do you think of this concept, Mickey?
Yeah, I think that that will be a good way to try to don't be so affected for this problem because I think that from here that starts other other issues and the culture that we have because sometimes I think that the Mexican culture it's a little bit lazy in occasions, that they are get used to receive probably this food only and that's all. Not all people, but I've seen this in in people that I met that is like, oh my god, but why don't you do that or why don't you try to do different things if the things that you're doing now are not giving you the results that you require, the results that you want. So I think that it's necessary to change in a way the way of thinking that Mexicans sometimes have, including me.
Yeah, yes, yes, yes. The way is that we think in a way massively. I think, I
Mhm.
think also is for
Yeah, yeah.
discussion.
Mhm.
We think we think what we think because
Our
uh,
context, or
our thoughts are shaped by, you mentioned this, by TV programs we watch. We watch
yeah, of course.
this on TV and they, as you say, they glamorize crime. Well, they want to be criminals. They glamorize laziness. Well, they will be lazy. So what TV glamorizes or perpetuates is what we're going to have in society. I'm not talking about TV or cinema or
Music, whatever.
music. Exactly, exactly. So,
Yeah.
but the question, a challenge for people like you, like me, like maybe our friends, our families, is can we change that for the better? Because eventually, this is my conviction. If we, it may sound very romantic. If we change society, we will change the house of our future children or my
Of
grandchildren.
course.
So if we clean the house, our children will live in a clean house, right? If we clean the society, our children or grandchildren will live in a clean society.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that here it starts another debate because it's like obviously the government or the biggest companies that produce those kind of contents, they want to change the society, or what's the purpose of them doing those kind of programs, doing that kind of music, doing that kind of content in the internet, in YouTube, and whatever? They really wants to change the society, or they wants that the society continue in that way or in a worse way. I think that
Maybe
there
what they
could be
want to
another
do is
debate.
they want to perpetuate it, maybe. But well, that's what they want. The question is, what do we want, right?
Exactly.
Okay,
Yeah.
Mickey. Well, we continue fixing the world next Friday then, all right?
Probably the next. Yeah, probably the next class will do it.
We'll fix it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Mickey. Well, enjoy your week. Wonderful week. And thank you for joining the class.
Yes, sure. Thank you for your time. The next class will be the next. What day?
I think next Friday, right?
Yeah, because we normally have two classes, right, per week.
Yeah, yeah. We have Monday and Friday. We had a
Okay,
few
sure.
more these last weeks because we had classes pending. But yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
think
remember.
Monday and Friday, right?
Yeah, perfect, teacher.
Okay,
So
Mickey.
enjoy your week and see you on Friday.
Take care. See you on Friday, Mickey. Enjoy. Nice
Take
week.
care. You too. You too, teacher.
Bye
Thank you.
bye. Bye. Take
Bye.
care. Bye.